Welcome to The Social Podcast, where no discussion or debate is off limits.
Thank you for being here and welcome to The Social. We'd like to welcome back to the show comedian and speaker Arthur Simeon. Welcome back, Arthur.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back.
It is good to be back.
It's good to have you back. Thank you
Yeah.
for being here. Well, listen, British broadcaster Sky Sports, they are now shutting down the sports-focused TikTok channel that they just created for women. They say it was meant to amplify female perspectives, but it faced pretty heavy criticism for being patronizing and even sexist. So in a statement, they acknowledged they didn't get it right. So what did the British broadcaster get so wrong here? What do you think, Arthur?
First of all, the first thing they got wrong was the idea that women are not watching sports before. Women have been watching sports. You are just not paying attention to them as a broadcaster. So you don't need to change anything in terms of your delivery because the women who are enjoying sports were already watching it.
Great
and the
point.
people who love the sports will watch it the same way the men who love sports watch it. They'll enjoy the same content. They will talk the stats. They'll be as delusional as any fan base. You don't need to be condescending or patronizing to get more women, because there's only two kinds of sports watchers: people who love sports and people whose loved one watch sports. And people always assume that second group is women, which yes, maybe that's the bigger number. But there's also plenty of men who just watch sports because their girlfriend or their wife enjoys sports or works in the sports industry. And none of these men are going to be condescending to in the same way to create an app that's pink or any of this stuff to get more viewers. So I think that's what they got wrong.
Yeah, that's a solid point.
Yeah.
You know, so the question is, what did Halo get wrong? And I think judging by the backlash, it seems like everything. But I'm not surprised because, you know, a lot of times I've been in the room where we're trying to come up with a project. I'm talking about in traditional television. And the question is always asked, how do we get that demographic? And the demographic I'm talking about is the younger demographic, the Gen Zs, as we call them. And oftentimes, the person who's asking that question is not at all aligned or has any idea what that generation really is tapped into. They're taking a look at TikTok and they're just kind of guessing, oh, they like abs, they like pink. And to me, when I saw this, I'm like, I don't know the generation of the person who was the executive producer, but something tells me that they are from an older generation because you got it wrong on so many levels. And
but doesn't the arrogance of that, like, just to pause for 1 second, because I'm not even a sporto, and this makes me angry. It makes me angry for sports fans, for female sports fans, because it was so condescending. This was branded, okay, think about this. It was launched last Thursday. It was branded as the Lil Sis of Sky Sports. I mean, I don't even know where to start with that. It was scrapped after 48 hours. So it tells you the amount of outrage. You think about the amount of money that was probably spent on launching this, the team of people who were involved in board meetings. Like, how could they get it so wrong?
And you know what's worse about getting it wrong?
It's crazy.
What's worse about getting it wrong today? Listen, lots of people have made mistakes in broadcast, but what's the worst part about getting it wrong today is there's an audience, you'll go viral for the wrong reason. And now, in order to get that audience back, you got to get their trust back. And that could take years. And you know what you don't have in this industry?
Years. That's true.
There are too many other options for them, so it's a double fail.
I know this is a thing that people don't like to talk about anymore because 2020 is come and gone. DEI, I know she's fallen out of favor, but the idea behind diversity and equity and inclusion, the whole idea was not about us, without us. So you want to create a channel for young female fans. I guarantee you there was not one young female fan who had a voice in that room with any power. So guess what? You started already, to your point, on the wrong foot, right? So I saw the name of the guy. I'm going to make assumptions. His name is Andy. So I guess Andy, who was leading this Halo channel, you know, you could have brought your daughter in. She would have made maybe some better decisions.
No, but I want to know. I don't want you to just bring in your daughter. I think that's part of the problem. I want an actual woman who knows about sports, who is respected for her opinion,
but
who's been working in the industry.
But let's say she was a sports fan.
Okay.
I think the idea here is you can't be making decisions for an entire group thinking you know better for them what they like. You bring them in and you give them power to make decisions.
Welcome to being
the
black.
other part, well, yes, absolutely.
All the time.
It's true. And I will also say the thing that's condescending about this, besides the whole like, we're going to do a hot girl walk, I'm like, first of all, who is that audience that you think you're talking to? To your point, female sports fans are already female sports fans. But the reason why female sports is exploding right now is not just because women like us are getting behind women. Men are also getting behind
100%.
women's sports. So this channel My husband says it all the time. He will point out matches, games, whether it's tennis, hockey, soccer, and he's like, this women's match is killing a the men's game.
Yeah.
But if this account was going to be trying to bring in fans, guess what? There are men too. So it was condescending against women, but it's also condescending against
But what do
the
we
men.
think about this idea of segregation? Like the idea that there would be even, like let's say it was super successful and women were watching. Do we like this idea of actually having things that cater specifically to men in sports and things that cater specifically to women?
No.
I think that
no,
there's something
because
really
so
wrong.
many people have fought, like the Serena Williams fought so that women's finals could be played on the same court as the main final, which was something that
And
wasn't happening
broadcast.
before. It's like, no, the sports fans are watching it regardless of what you're putting around it. Like if I want to watch the final of Wimbledon, men's or women's, I'm going to tune in. I don't need some sort of different font to figure out who's playing. You know, the name, I don't need. I don't need to put ribbons on something, so I'm like, oh, the ribbons is when the women are playing. No, I will watch the sport.
You'll
Tennis,
watch it.
But you know who thinks like
basketball,
that? Old men
Fair.
who are out of touch
Fair.
with the younger generation. That's who thinks like that.
Okay, we're gonna move on to this. If you were planning the perfect night, would you choose to go to a concert, a movie, a sporting event, or have sex? This is, I don't know what people were saying here, but anyway, that's the bizarre question that Live Nation posed to Canadians, and they found that the number one consumer choice was live music, and only 30% would pick sex. I'm gonna leave the audience for a moment here, but what do you think about people ranking concerts above sex?
I think our audience are full of a bunch of geniuses. That's what I think. Because we understand, listen, you can have sex anytime, anywhere with anyone, and it's, well, maybe not anyone, right? Where a concert, when you think about, put yourself in a concert venue, it's your favorite artist, you know all their music, and you're side by side with other fans who feel the same way, and you get to belt out that song with the person who wrote that song and all the feelings that come with it. All of that put together is better than any orgasm. I'm sorry, that is a musical orgasm. And I have orgasm.
You guys are not having the right kind of sex.
No,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Are not.
No.
We need to talk. Okay,
Yes.
I'm here for you.
I orgasmed at the final concert of Luther Vandross in this city. I orgasmed the last time Tina Turner was on tour and she came in the city.
Sorry.
I orgasmed when I saw Bruno Mars and Usher and Janet Jackson in Vegas. More. I'll skip the sex.
I mean,
Listen.
okay.
They're
Listen,
Okay, you guys get it.
I just don't think, I don't know that we're comparing the same things.
Yeah.
Like a great concert is great. They don't come around too often. They're so expensive now. You know, last time I checked, hopefully you're not paying for too much sex.
Yes.
Anyway,
Thank
I'm
you.
going to leave that there. So
this-
I don't think they're the same things.
Yeah, this is truly a national emergency.
How? Oh,
Because Canadians, I don't know what kind of sex you're having, that it's so bad you'd rather pay $1,000 and go sweat with other strangers
it's the
while listening to music. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what it is.
Here's
It's
the
a
thing.
guaranteed
No,
fun.
no.
If I get that, if I go to that concert, it's guaranteed 2.5 hours that I'm going to be happy. That
Canadians,
sex,
I'm
I might
begging
like
you.
it and
I'm
I might
begging
not,
you.
and there might be 2 to 5 minutes of me going,
No,
could have bought a concert ticket in that time.
I am begging every Canadian out there, get better.
No.
Get better at sex because this is terrible, okay? Hopefully, first of all, concerts have become inaccessible to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Sex is still available for most people, I hope. It's still available.
At least with
yeah.
yourself, it's always available.
Well, you could do that and then go to the concert.
No.
Can we also just stop making stupid comparisons?
Yeah.
Like comparing a concert experience, which is a collective experience where we tap into
Sex can be
nostalgia.
a collective experience.
Well, it's sure. It can
What
be.
are you
I'm saying
doing?
it can. It can.
This is not a fair comparison. Live Nation also did this research. So do
Yeah.
you think that maybe they had an extra vested interest
Yeah.
in putting this out
Okay,
there?
sure.
I'm just going to leave
Sure.
that there.
Live
Sure.
Nation, I see where you're coming from. I'm with you. I see.
Okay, this next one's gonna get fiery. The Toronto Star looked into if you can throw a bag of dog poo into someone else's garbage, and the short answer is no. Throwing private trash in someone else's bin without their consent is actually against Toronto city bylaws.
What?
I know. However, many pet owners poo-poo the rules and say that trash is trash. So are people raising too much of a stink over this? Melissa Grelo, you are a dog owner.
I am a dog owner. I am a Doberman dog owner, and the reason why that's important is because it takes human-sized poops, and therefore I have to be very mindful of this. It's like being a parent, you know? You can handle your own dog's poop, your own child's poop, but you should not put that on anybody else. And so to me, I would never, and trust me, I have been tempted this morning. I'm oversharing, but we're all friends. My dog has loose stool this morning, and so I had to double bag it, and it was so stinky, and I thought to myself, I looked at a bin, I know that house has a dog, and I was like, whatever, they have a dog. And then I said, don't do it, Melissa. Don't be a bad neighbor.
Carried it.
I carried it. Don't be lazy. I kept saying to myself, don't be lazy. And I carried it around like a good girl, and guess where it ended up? My compost bin. My
You know
compost.
what? You're a good person because as a former dog owner, I loved my dog, but the most disgusting part of having that dog was scooping up that hot poop in that bag. The smell is wafting up to your nose. I'm sorry, the nearest receptacle is getting that bag. I'm gonna tie it up properly, but why would I walk for blocks with this bag of garbage? It is a ticking time bomb. And in my head, I'm like, you just gotta get rid of it. And it's a garbage. It's not like you eat out of your garbage. It's a garbage.
you.
So if I have garbage in my hand, I'm gonna lift it up and I'm gonna put it in the
Okay,
garbage.
but what if
Yeah.
somebody else had a stinky dog poop and they were walking by Andrea Bain's house and they're like, oh, look, there's a
I
garbage.
have no problem because you know what I
You're
don't.
okay?
You know what I don't want? I don't want it on my lawn, and you pretending you didn't see what your dog did and then
Yeah.
walking off.
Yeah.
That's gonna get me hot under the collar. If you're
think-
putting it in the garbage, thank you very much.
I think there's this idea that the garbage is smelling great to begin with.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm yet to meet a garbage can that's smelling great. This is such a weird thing to be mad about because it's garbage. Everything that goes in there, you don't want anymore, okay? So someone else can put their dog poop in there, it is fine. If you live in a city, it's about community, okay? Instead of leaving the poop on the ground, we put it in garbage cans, okay? If you don't want this, don't live in a city.
Wait.
Live in the country where your neighbors are 3 miles away and you can just leave poop wherever you want.
There's one other extra element that I think is worth considering, that those bags are quite flimsy sometimes. If you throw it in, what if it bursts open? Like
That's
then
happened. That's
if you're the
happened.
owner of that, I'd be mad. I don't have a dog. I love
Right.
dogs, don't get me wrong. And for all the reasons that you said, I'd rather it be in a bin than on the ground. But I would rather it not be in my bin when I'm not a dog owner. So like at least with you guys who are dog owners, you've decided as a collective that you like a certain aspect to this. So I don't think I need to be involved. So maybe we
Yeah.
need to have like a sticker on our things and being like, I'm
not a dog owner,
I'm not a
please
dog
don't put your
I
poop in
know.
here. Yeah.
We can
What
also
if it
put
bursts
blame.
open?
Well, we can also put blame where blame is due. Everybody should be a responsible dog owner. Never leave your poop behind. We've
Exactly.
established this.
Exactly.
However, number two is if the city of Toronto wants us to make sure that these bags end up in the proper receptacles and maybe not in our neighbors, maybe give us more trash cans around the city. Maybe empty the ones that are already
Right,
overfull.
full.
I don't want to make this about municipal politics. Everyone's strapped for cash, but then give me the receptacle so I don't have to tick off my neighbor with my stinky poop.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. And for the neighbor who's mad about it, I'm just gonna wait till you close your door and then I'm dropping that bag in there. Oops. All right, let's move on to our next one. People has a story about a New Brunswick mom who got a shock when she received her 10-year-old's school pictures. She said her daughter asked the photographer if she could try her own pose.
Aww.
Right? So, should kids be encouraged to show personality in their school pictures?
I think so
Okay.
too. I think there's like something so adorable about this guy at one time, like right after COVID. It was like he was living sort of like a feral child. His hair had gotten really long, and it was his first school day at a new school, so in September. And he decided to wear one of those kind of Mandarin-style collar shirts, so a shirt without an actual collar, and a tie, okay? So this does not work in any regard. It looked hilarious, but it was so adorable, and it's not a great photo. It's not one of those like very posed photos, but it's him, and to me, those are the ones I treasure more. Even if his eyes, I would never do the touch-up element. Like, I want eyes closed. I want some awkward moment that shows a personality.
But here's the thing. I love that. And, you know, I'm going to defend the school photographer for just 2 seconds. If you want a fancy photo shoot with your kid posing, it's called get your Apple phone and go into the backyard and do a photo shoot. Do you know what these people have to deal with? My daughter's school is huge. They got one shot. Sit down, kid. This is like prison. Get in, mugshot, get out. Get in, get out, get out. The kids are like, oh, Mr. Ma'am, may I pose? Imagine 800 kids
No.
who want to sit there and pose. And guess what? If you're going to buy in to the package of the school photo, by definition, they're supposed to just be blah. They're not supposed to,
Is
right?
that right?
Yes! It's the same background since 1978. They don't care. It's the same background since 1978. The fact that she was standing, that's groundbreaking, because my kid always has to sit on those lame old stools.
Yeah.
My point is, respect what it is. You either buy into what it is, and if you think those packages are expensive now, and your photographer's now going to spend an extra 2 or 3 days at your kid's school, those packages are going to double in price.
Oh, no.
It's not worth it.
I like the idea that Melissa's kid's school is a prison. Like, I like this. I like, we're raising good kids now. Yeah, get them get in prison mentality
in, get
early.
out.
Yeah, some tattoos on their faces and everything. Let's get it going.
I don't know about the prison part, but I agree with you, Melissa. You know why? Because I did this. In grade 1, I went to school. I was not given any instructions, but I decided on my own that I wanted to give a face that I'd seen in the Sears catalog. You know, some people just have a nice resting face and they just kind of stare into the camera and they look pretty. Well, this is what... Listen, this is what came out. Now, you guys are awing, but when I brought this, when my mother got these photos, my entire family was like, what was wrong? Did you beat her before she took this picture? Why does her face look like that? Why are you not smiling? Because these pictures don't just go to your your parents, they go to your entire family. Nobody liked this picture. So every year after that, I was like, okay, I'm not being chastised by my aunt one more year. So the next year, this is a picture. I got it together, and it's like, look at me. I'm having so much fake fun. But you know what? I'm not really happy. I'm just thinking, you know what? I don't want to hear from my family one more time. So we are gonna smile it out.
That's so cute.
Sit down, take the picture, smile.
That is adorable.
And in hindsight, I am glad that I looked just like a regular kid.
Yeah.
I couldn't recognize myself.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Oh my gosh. The fashion holds.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was serious. I was serious about my school day picture.
It's holding.
Yeah.
Absolutely adorable. Well, from Beyonce's Lemonade to Taylor's Reputation and now Lily Allen's West End Girl, a writer for Vogue is celebrating the passion, the skill, the audacity that a musician must have to record an entire album dedicated to revenge. So now what actually makes a good revenge album? Arthur.
First of all, Melissa, the idea that you said Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Lily Allen, one of those things is not like the other two. I will say a revenge album, don't get me wrong, go for it. But first of all, people have to care about your music, 1. 2, the music has to be good. Like if I'm just listening to the song, I need to be able to enjoy it. And then the superfan can tell me, oh, it's actually based on this relationship and everything like that. Yep. So like the classic albums that have been attributed to a breakup, some of them I didn't even know until I read this article. I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was a breakup because the album was just good. And I cannot say this album is a good album. I've listened to some of it. I don't think it was that great. I think a lot of it is just spiteful, which sounds good at the time for the performer. But as an audience member, like, I don't care about you nearly enough. And also, there's this idea that musicians think that they're the only ones who are going through breakups. Everyone has gone through a breakup. You're not unique in this sort of experience. So, like, at least give me a good piece of art and not just dump your problems on me.
Very
And a lot of people, I haven't listened to, I've listened to like one song off the album. It was fine.
Yeah.
But people do seem to like this. And I think it is sort of channeling their feelings of bad relationships, things gone wrong. And I guess maybe the key maybe to a good revenge album is that there's a catharsis, that there's some kind of cathartic experience. I don't like the word revenge, though. I think a breakup album is maybe a better way to put it. And when I think about good breakup albums, we mentioned in the opening Beyonce's Lemonade, and there was something so cathartic about that. You know, it was all about, she'd been so previously private about her relationship with Jay-Z. We found out all about Becky with the good hair, about affairs, and then she talked quite openly through her music about how they were working through this very, very complicated time. And I thought that was beautiful, and there were a lot of lessons for, I think, people to learn through that.
That a baseball bat is really, really
I thought it was really,
nice
really, it was beautiful. It was making lemonade out of lemons.
Sure.
I mean, it was brilliant.
Sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The one that I chose, I think this artist crawled so that Beyonce could run. And I'm talking about Carly Simon's You're So Vain. Came out in 1972. Best breakup revenge, not album, but song ever. And you know why I think it's great? It's because it's calm. She's not angry. She's not yelling. She's not swinging a bat. But she is specifically talking to somebody, but we have no idea. And what's great is when we're going through our own breakup, when we want to listen to music that kind of says how we are feeling, you don't want to know exactly who that person was writing about. right? We never know because it's you're so
Then you
vain.
can't
probably
project.
you can't project on it. So it's like
Yeah.
when I go through my breakup and she says things, I want to be like, yeah, that guy did take me for granted, and you were speaking to me. When you make it about your husband that I know on this very famous show, well, now I can't listen to your song in the same
It's
way.
so specific.
Right.
It's too specific.
That's why my choice is it's controversial, okay? I'm gonna say it right out of the gate. When Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears broke up, okay, I was in my 20s, and they're not that much younger than me, and I felt like I was in that relationship, and then, you know, my boyfriend and I at the time, we were doing the double denim together on dates. They were this relationship that was kind of contemporaneous to mine. So when they broke up, and then Justin Timberlake dropped Cry Me a River,
That was a banger.
the revenge, and then the video with the Britney Spears look-alike. And so to your point, Andrea, this was so specific to, we knew he was writing and singing about Britney, and then he was gonna have sex with another girl.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
And then, but the revenge was, you cheated on me, so I'm gonna have sex with this girl in your house. The video said it.
The video did say it, but my understanding was that that song was not about Britney and him. I don't want to say who it was about. You can Google it yourself.
No,
but it was about
but
a
did you
friend of
watch
his.
the video?
I know the video. They were
It's
doing
a
a nod
Britney
to it.
Spears
Yes, he's talking about
look-alike.
Britney, yeah.
Yeah.
At the time, we thought it was a revenge song. Like,
Yes.
you did this to me, so I'm gonna do this to you. Now, listen, poor Britney has gone down a different path, and we don't know, you know, all of this, but back then, that was a banger.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it's a good song.
That was a good song.
Yeah.
Okay, let's all take a drink. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
This is the part where we say, Arthur, we love seeing you. We love having you here. Thanks for coming
Always
back.
a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Subscribe to the Social Podcast so you don't miss a fiery debate. Until next time, socialites.